Folks, we are back with yet another injury report for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This time it's for Week 16 versus the Arizona Cardinals on Christmas Day. Let's talk about the players who are out first. So officially listed as out are outside edge rushing linebacker Jannard Avery with an abdomen and an oblique injury, cornerback Jamel Dean with a toe injury, Carl Nassib with a pectoral injury, Donovan Smith with a foot injury, and Vita Vea with a calf injury. Now, a lot of these guys were players who were out last week for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that continues. In the case of Avery and Nassib, of course, it's not good. You want to have at least some level of depth at your edge rushing linebacker position. Yes, the Bucs do have Joe Tryon-Shoyinka and Anthony Nelson, and they have done good things this year for the Bucs, but you still like to have that depth. And I think that Jannard Avery and Carl Nassib are very good players in their own rights as well. I've been very impressed with them throughout this season, so they will be missed. Jamel Dean being out is also unfortunate. He has had a very, very good year so far, and now that it's hampered a little bit with injuries. Just really unfortunate because Dean stayed healthy throughout pretty much the entirety of this year so far, and now the injury bug has reared its ugly head yet again. Vita Vea being out again is absolutely huge. He is so important and instrumental to the success of this Buccaneers defense, especially with run stopping and pass rushing opportunities. I've talked about that before on some of the film reviews here on this channel. Like, Vita Vea is a big deal, and him being out is very, very unfortunate. And then finally, talking about Donovan Smith. And I know some people may say, well, good, Donovan Smith being out. He hasn't been good lately. And, obviously you never want to wish injury on a guy, right? That's first and foremost. And second off, Donovan Smith, for as much criticism as people want to give him, he is still a starting guy along this offensive line, and I do believe he will be missed along this offensive line. Josh Wells is slated to be the left tackle for the Bucs in this upcoming matchup. We'll talk about his injury situation in a moment. So Josh Wells has certainly been getting a lot of work, man. He really has. And now that will continue to be the case in this upcoming game. So definitely keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on Josh Wells, how he does at left tackle, because I know people say, well, Donovan Smith, isn't a great left tackle. But if Josh Wells struggles, that's really going to be a highlight as well. Like, it's very noticeable when a left tackle is playing really bad. And of course, Donovan Smith hasn't had the best couple of games the past couple of weeks, but it still is going to be missed out there for sure. Moving on to some of the guys that are listed as questionable. Mike Edwards was a limited participant in Friday's practice with a hamstring injury. Now, Greg Auman of the Fox Sports had said that is definitely one to be a concern about. So definitely keep an eye on that one. Julio Jones with a knee injury was limited all week this week in practice. It has been a knee injury that he's been dealing with all stinking year. You hate to see it, but hopefully he can heal up soon and possibly even play in this game as well. Keanu Neal did not practice on Wednesday and was limited in Thursday and Friday's practices with a toe injury. He is questionable. Now, I think Neal will play. I guess I'm not 100% sure, but I'm hopeful that Neal can play. Of course, the Buccaneers, with already listing out 5 people, they can really only afford to have I believe 1 or 2 guys inactive out of this entire list that I'm talking about. So there is a pretty decent chance that Neal plays. Hopefully he does, because I think he's done a really good job this year as a rotational type guy and has made a couple of really nice plays. Again, I've talked about some of those plays in the film reviews, so hopefully Neal can play. Josh Wells is a limited participant all week, Wednesday and Thursday, but did get full participation on Friday with a back injury. That's kind of one reason I'm talking about in terms of keep an eye on the left tackle position, because Wells is also dealing with an injury. We may have to see Brandon Walton step in. I'm honestly a little surprised we didn't see Brandon Walton step in at that left tackle spot, but it is what it is. So definitely keep an eye on Josh Wells and how he does with his back injury that he is also dealing with. Antoine Winfield Jr. did not practice all week, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. He's listed as questionable. You'd probably assume that if you're not practicing all week, the guy might not play, but they didn't rule him as out. So that is definitely kind of a weird, tricky, interesting situation there worth paying attention to. Finally, Tristan Wirfs was limited Wednesday and Thursday, was full go on Friday. He himself said that he was going to play, so welcome back, Tristan Wirfs. I know he was very sorely missed and should be a very welcomed addition back to the offensive line. Finally, you had guys with some rest days. Brady limited on Thursday, full go on Friday. It was a rest day for Brady. Levante David did not practice on Friday because of rest. Mike Evans, no practice Thursday because of rest, full go on Friday. And then finally, Akeem Hicks, no practice on Friday due to rest. So, with all that being said, there's a lot of, iffy situations here with some unfortunate guys out, specifically on the defensive side of things. You have four very important players to this Buccaneers defense that are going to, 100% be out. You have your starting left tackle that is going to be out. And then you have some, just again, more high-level starters, more high-level rotational guys, especially on the defensive side of things, that are questionable. Mike Edwards, Keanu Neal, Antoine Winfield Jr., not great, but at least there are some reinforcements coming back on the offensive side of things with Julio Jones and Tristan Wirfs being in that mix to play as well. So, folks, let me know your thoughts and opinions about this injury report. I would love to hear them. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Now we'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.